and towards the eastern part of Nigeria should be registered survey. You get it. So it's really local, and that is the same way if you're making money in it. So today I want to quickly and speedily, I will illustrate some factors, because most times, we look for indices that gets us ahead in terms of helping our clients, helping ourselves. The major thing why we learn this is because it helps you. And if you are empowered, you can empower another. If you know the way to the city, you can take another person to the city. If you don't know the way to the city, it's how can you take someone to the city? You enter a flight, you don't know the way, the airway from where you are to Lagos, right? But somehow, there's a map that is taking the airport, the pilot to Lagos, and you wake up and you see yourself in Lagos. You have this certainty, 100% certainty, that if I fly from Lagos to Glasgow, and I enter that I'm flying to Glasgow in Scotland. I'm flying to London in the UK. That if I enter someone like Epis that flies to um, to London, that I'm going to find myself in London. That assurance is divine, right? That assurance is really divine. Like I said, I want us to honor our videos. And now, so what really brings this assurance? You see, most times in this class, we have looked at something we call commerce as a driver. I've thought about compare strategy. We have looked at migration rate. We have looked at population. We have looked at employment opportunities, and we have looked at luxury. Those are classical, they're standard across board. But in the contemporary times, there are things that are not in the books that should be in the books, because the times are changing, you see, and that is just it. Okay, so what are the factors that really affect real estate appreciation? One key of them is, apart from is so really you're looking for what to invest in. You're looking for, oh, is this estate, is the presence of an institution. Yeah, the presence of an institution. Now, institution, I'm referring to a higher body of learning, like a university, a PH, not university, OND, a college of education. Why? Because it brings a lot of people. Then secondary schools. Now, secondary schools in the terms of the quality of the secondary school. Now, if it's a secondary school that it can be pricey, right? It's within for the upper middle class where their children come to, those kind of boarding schools, and they build it normally off skirt of the city. What happens? You know what happens there? What happens is that when does those parents come to pick their children, when they come to pick their children, they are paying attention. They're paying attention to the surrounding. Oh, it's like this place looks like a nice place. It's like I'm going to get a land here. And before you know it, that environment tends to pick up. If you get it. So, and then if it's a university, there's going to be commercial activities. Most people will leave school, and so you're on this call, and some of your friends that have left school, but they're still hanging around the university environment. Some people end up settling and domiciling there. That's in terms of whether it's OND, whether it's PhD, just a higher institution. Does that make sense? So that's one clear factor. It's the local factor. It may not be obtainable in the Western world, so you may not be able to see them in the books, but this is what it is. So you can go about, look at them, look at those numbers, and you will see that it's given within the local market. Okay, that's when I mean the local market, and I'm referring to Nigeria. I'm referring to based on our behavioral pattern. Now, what else really drives this? Market and market clusters. That's something like you call commerce, right? But there's now market and market clusters. Market and market clusters. So it can be, you're buying a place near, like ShopRite is a market, but it's also a market cluster. Now, so it can just look like your commerce. Main market is a market, but it's a market cluster. Now, because sometimes you're looking for um people might be looking for something that looks like um what do we call it? They may be looking for something like a unified market. A unified market. They may not see them. But now suddenly somebody builds a plaza, another person builds a plaza, and it looks like there are plazas playing around there. They're building market clusters. That's why I decided to use the word market cluster. So it makes more sense. Now, it means that it's going to drive development north, east, south. It's going to spread round about it. 10 minutes away, 5 minutes away, 3 minutes away. And as the time progresses, because more, as people are coming there to deal, as people are coming there to deal, you know what's happened? They're seeing things. They're thinking, oh, I can pick something here. So the person goes, oh, to let's say is a market cluster of, let's say is a piggery. I don't want to be so sophisticated. So it's outside the city, but this is a market cluster where people are always coming to pick pigs, right? A market cluster of pig farms, right? So people and companies are coming to get buy pigs or buy pork that they will use for their sausage rolls, and they drive in there, and that's a club. So when they are leaving, they're always think, oh, what else? What can we be doing around here? And you know what happens? 3, 4, 5 years down the line, that place becomes what? Becomes there's a high exponential growth in terms of the business activity that is happening there. Hello, is this thing making sense? Okay, this is not conventional things. These are the type of things we don't find on Google, but this is what drives our business. This is, and you have to know that. Remember, I encourage everyone to on their videos, put your videos on. Whether you're in darkness, just put your video on. It's going to help you to pay more attention. It's going to help you to be able to understand this. Now, and it gives me the illusion that people don't just join the section and drop their phone somewhere. Okay, so because I have to feed off the energy you are transmitting. Now, so I said market cluster. So if you had what I talked about market clusters, just write market clusters on the chat box. Now, the first one we talked about what? So if you remember the first one, kindly write it in the chat box. Now, we study to be able to create abundance. You're able to. So when you're telling a client that, oh, this is a cluster of this is there's a market cluster for this, you're able to understand what it's being done. So it's a new form of how real estate moves about. The normal centralized market works. Yes, your ShopRite works. Any property need close to ShopRite will constantly appreciate because it's stipulated that it's the center of town. That makes sense, right? Okay, now the next one is what we call transportation hub. Now, transportation hub is one of the most expensive places in London. Yes, Central Park is a transportation hub where there's a train station below, and but that's the most expensive place. So there's road, there's anywhere you want to go to in from Central Park, you move to that place. So it's a transportation hub. Now coming down, so that also works both in the international scene and in our scene. So if it's in train station, whether if it's in Edu, I know when Edu used to be a desert in Abuja. Now when you go to the train station in Edu, it's wonderful, right? So even if you put a train station, I was at Agege train station in Lagos the other time. Now it's in a slum, right? It's in a slum. Yeah, just like the name Agege, it's in a slum in Agege. But watch what will happen there as your modernization comes in. Why? Successful people that are in the upper class of the economy are normally taking the train. And so when they take the train, they are thinking, oh, they couldn't have gotten to Agege. Nothing should have taken me to Agege before, but I was in Agege because I needed to use the train. Now, and as the person is looking, remember how the mind is wired. The mind is wired. He's looking for opportunities. The other man is looking for challenges. He's looking for problems. He's thinking of his problem, but this other one is looking for problems that he's going to solve. So that's a different ball game, right? So there's this responsibility. Oh, how do we transform Agege to a better city? Do we get that? So that's transportation hub. So transportation hub doesn't have to. So it's you have your train stations or train terminals. You have so there's a proposed place that there is a train station that is coming. There's going to be development there. It's a powerful sweet spot for land banking, not for land flipping. Remember, all right. All these spots are good for land banking, land flipping. There's a place. There's a road construction project going on between here and here. It has opened up. Now, what else you can do where you have yacht for places where there is water. Now, assuming there's a yacht club, right? There's a yacht club. People will drive from where they are to come to the yacht club, to take a drive, right? And if they're coming there, they're looking around. That one day they're thinking, oh, I think I'm going to get something. Oh, I can design something fantastic around here. So does that really make sense? Now, not just the yacht club, but now you have the seaport terminal. You're on the road to your seaport. You are going to clear your goods. You're going to clear your work. Now, and people are transversing there. Oh, they remember that where they were living, they could not. Oh, maybe their tenants, they couldn't afford the houses. But now suddenly, oh, this place is just like this, and I walk at the seaport. He buys the land close there. He seeks accommodation close there. So not all the opportunities now. And remember, these opportunities are not something that are constant. Now, when there's a train station in Delta, when there's a train station in Anambra, now, if you know it today, you'll be able to know why you should be able to own them. Why you should be able to show someone else why you should own them. And assuming you have your community, your personal land, your family land is there, you are not in a rush to give them away when you hear it's proposed for a bus terminal, it's proposed for seaports. Whether the place used to be watery, whether if it used to be flooded, those matters become highly, highly consequential. Okay, now another one is what we call proposed government projects. Now, proposed government project is two ways. You see, proposed government project is two ways. Why I say it's two ways, there's also what we call presence of big business. I think it's quite two different, distinct, but it's because now government projects tend to be big. Now, presence of big business is called big for a reason. The big business may decide to sink $10 billion in a project. So you're sinking $10 billion in a project. It means a lot of humans are going to work there. It means a lot of value is going to be created. Just the same way government. So it's one way to the government and one way to. There are even projects that big business will orchestrate, and it propels over the projects of the government. Does this make a little sense? Does this make a little sense? Okay, now let me come to. I see some adverts, right? And some real estate companies. Sometime 2 years ago, they were advertising a particular. One company was advertising a particular product, particular land, and the product was land. They were selling land banking opportunity, and they were selling it because it was close to Kochari's farms, Sakosmos Maduka's farm. Now that's big business playing. How many people work in the farm? How many people work in Sakochari's farms there in Anambra? Lot, thousands of them, right? Thousands of them. How many people are the clients, the smaller businesses that are doing business with, that are coming to pick rice, that are coming to do haulage, that are coming to do this, that are coming to do that? So they're seeing opportunities, because you first see before you have, right? It's what you see that you desire. So there's an activity that is making people see what is available beside them. And that has always been Sir Razak Okoye's model. He goes out and starts his manufacturing business there, brings people to the factory, and not like he's calling them to come, but you have to come and buy what he's producing, right? So as they're coming, drivers are going in or going out, they're still supplying outside. But maybe one thing, you may want to reconcile your paper, and you come to the office, and you come to the industrial hub. That, remember, those, that's also an example of market clusters. Market clusters, because remember, I've told the story of how Sarazak does real estate, where he acquires place distant from town, far. If people are moving this way, Sarazak is moving this way, and when he gets here, he creates a cluster for industrialists. He's an industrialist. He produces your eleganza pen. Is this an eleganza pen? Okay, no. He produces eleganza pen. He produces filling bottle. Most of us, that when you go to school, the filling bottle is made by eleganza. Up till now, they still produce eleganza chairs and the rest of them. So when he's doing that, he brings a lot of his friends, gives them land that he bought at maybe a very minimal margin, so that his activity there, because he has chunks and chunks of land that he has acquired. So that, and then so people are coming. That's another example of market cluster. So now, as I was saying, sorry, please. So now, example of a proposed government project. You remember the Third Mainland Bridge. Most of us, when you travel to Lagos, that's a bridge you take. The bridge you take to the island, right? If that bridge was not made, was not produced, and created, you will not have the Lekki Big Boys will not exist. Yeah, you had me right. The Lekki Big Boys will not exist. Why is that so? Because it was that bridge that drive, and that's a government project. There was a time it was proposed, right? Just like Second Niger Bridge. There was a time it was a proposed, it was just on paper. It was just, we would do. There's this road that we call the Link Road. The Link Road. Who can help me with the name of the road? The road from Lagos to Calabar, the Coastal Road, right? The Coastal Road. It's proposed now, but sooner or later, it's going to be done. Your job can be to be asking when it will be done, while some persons will be keen into making investments in the right places. Now that Third Mainland Bridge, I've always said that, was the main propeller for that access, for the VI, because it gave access to that place. And that's an example. So most times, the best time to enter, because there's really a graph for your land banking. It's funny. Now, at here, when nothing seems to be moving, is what we call pre-development. Pre-development. And that is the point you're buying. It looks like nothing is happening. Nothing is shaking the bush. The bush is like that. It's not shaking. So the graph can be like that forever. So it's been like that. But now there is a proposed government project. So it's trying to get up small. I think I've taught that graph in one of our classes. So I'm trying to get up small, because there are indices. Either there's a proposed government project, there's a proposed big business, there is a market, someone trying to create market clusters. And individuals are the best at creating market clusters. Because what is market cluster? You are doing something, you want to teach another person to do it, and the person becomes good. You set him free, and he's doing his own there, and people get people to come and buy from you. Now, so I'm trying to tell us that these things, you may not see them on paper, but this is how real estate really appreciates within the African continent. I may not, Nigeria is really a template for Africa, right? So when we say within the African culture, I think it's correct because Nigeria is highly diversified. And if you succeed in Nigeria playing business, it's far, far easier to succeed in other African countries because of our multilingual nature and the likes of them. So you talk about the second Niger bridge, right? It was just the link road to Anambra and the for their Asaba axis was also. So what are they going to do? We have seen what happened to Third Mainland Bridge. Well, that's how we will also see what will happen within the Asaba axis of it. Does this make sense? So that then you remember the impact of big business. The impact of big business. You see the how Dangote came to the free trade zone, and then everywhere blew up. Big business, big business, big business. So when there's a big investor that are coming to do a big project, so you just know, remember the presence of big business is equals to a company that is listed. Not all companies are, not all big companies are listed on the stock exchange, right? Yeah, there are companies that are super big, but are not on the stock exchange. So it's not about being in the top 30. It's not about being in the top 50. There are companies that are solid, big, but somehow they want control. So they are not in the what? In the stock exchange. Something a company like Ocharis, I know is not in the stock exchange because of control. Now, so not just that, numerous other companies. So you have to know so what's the size of the project and what are they doing? That determines it. So someone is coming to put up a private university somewhere. It's not government proposed, it's a big business that is coming. Okay, so now we've talked about that. We talk of something we overlook is what we call high security installations. High security installations. Now, because real estate is local, living opposite the barracks may not be a flare, right? But it's highly important. Back in the days, it doesn't count, but now, oh, living close to the police checkpoint, living close to these counts. Why? That's why you see Moses State, you see, oh, the one of their adverts we have gotten approval from, just like Vienna, one of Vienna Park, one of our new selling estates, one of that is approval from the IG um, for a police post inside the estate. And that's a bragging right because there's presence of what? Security installation. People want to live, even where you live in Asaba, there are places you will live, you know, you cannot come out on the road. There are places you will live. I had someone he visited, was in Abuja, and one day I called her on phone. She said, I've just been robbed. Okay, no, I think I was doing the transaction with her, so which was supposed to communicate the next day. So somehow the next day she sent me a text with another line, I've just been robbed. I was beaten and called. Now, invariably, nobody prays for that, but it also shows the kind of place she was. Does this make sense? Now, high security installation. You live opposite the police barracks, high security installation, or that's a police headquarters or whatever, is high security installation. There tends to be less crime within that vicinity. And then before you know it, prices of properties will rise because people will clinch to safety. But it may not be the same in the UK. It may not be the same. It will not be the same in China where they use camera to view everywhere within their city center. Does this make sense? So please, if I want most of us, if you've been on this call, I've talked about some key elements that we look out for when making real estate investment. You know, can you write at least three of them? Let me be sure that you understand what we are saying. And we also talked about the concept of that people activity has to go on so that people have to see it because they see it before they possess it. So please, I'm waiting. You see, so who are on this call? Let me say, remember to on your videos. Remember to on your videos. Hmm? Most of us, our videos are not on, and it's not a good one. Hmm? It's not a good one. Remember to on your videos. Okay, good. I think we have some text. Okay, transportation hub, presence of institution, and presence of higher institutions, market clusters, not just higher institutions. I talked of very credible on secondary schools, transportation hub. And even as of recently, we see primary schools that they send on boarding school, but who knows? You know, people don't know that life is basically busy. So if you send your baby to a boarding school in primary school, the baby that in 2, 3 years you'll be looking for. So that type of school will also sell real estate. Yeah, it will sell real estate, but I really don't buy into it. I don't think it's right. Spend the time you have. Life is relatively short. You are here maximum the next 80 or 100 years, and you are gone. So spend it because very soon those children will grow up. And when they grow up, you will wish that you could still be touching their head. But when you're supposed to be touching their head, they were in primary school, boarding school, secondary school, boarding, and then university. But that's one of the universities, institutions anyway, because it will always bring the parents there, and it can be in outskirts of town. Okay, and where safety is a concern, one of the things that is pushing the Asaba real estate market is safety. Yeah, it's safety because it's safer for people to be here, to be in Asaba than to be across the bridge. Okay, sometimes persons will come into Asaba, and from Asaba they will go to attend to to their weddings, do their Christmas celebration. The safety is one of them. Okay, another thing that is quite fun is infrastructure and estate planning. Okay, recently I was speaking with some of my people at land use department, at the land department, at the secretariat, and what I was asking them about, there is this particular. Some of us don't know there is a place, there is an estate in Asaba that a plot that is sold for 500 million, and in the next fence outside the estate, a plot is sold for maybe 150 or 250. Maybe 150 or maximum 200. Funny, right? But the demarcation is just a fence. It's not, it's just a fence. Okay? Now, if you've heard of Liberty Estate, is the estate I'm talking about. It has only 2 plots of vacant land as of 2 months ago. Only 2 plots of vacant land. And a very conspicuous space. So even if one of the owners decides to sell for 1 billion, someone will still buy it. Now, what was the distinguishing factor there is what we call infrastructure and estate planning. Infrastructure and estate planning. You see, most times it is safer to ask, what is the plan for this place than to ask, what is the price? I know you will not agree. But remember, somebody bought when they were giving allocations. I've seen some of the allocation paper for Liberty Estate, and I saw some people resell. Some people were selling it 10, 30 million. And do you know that in the next one, they were also selling it almost the same price? Maybe when they were selling it 30, they were selling that one maybe 25. But you see over the time, you see how the percentage differentiation. You could have been selling that one 30 and selling one 28, 27, I mean, max 25. It was estate planning. So before you ask what is the price, ask what is the plan? What is the integrity of the developers? What have they been able to develop? So one of the reasons why we ran the partnership of with Vienna is that I've worked around one of their estates, not one, around two of their estates that they have developed fully. And I'm like, wow, this is it. Because it's not about the price, it's about what addition, what value are you bringing, what input, what type of infrastructure, what type of planning is being put here. So that's just the difference. So before you ask what is the price, ask what is the plan. What is the plan? A place that is always structured. I was well, when was that? I think that was last year. I was in Lakwe. Yeah, I think I pronounced it well. Lakwe. And when you leave the gate of Lakwe, you see it's as if you are in Agege. It's as if you are in Fege. Or how do I say it? You are just in a very local place. Once you just leave the gate like this. So what was the differentiating factor? A fence. Only inside there. As of that time, a building on less than 300 square meter was going for 450 by January. But outside, I'm sure if you get that type of building and you offer 120, you are good to go. That's not now when the Naira have played some dancing. So what does that tell you? It tells you about the plan is more important than the price. And you know, most things is that, and the funny thing is that most people know this. That is why, because I met a particular family, I won't call their names, and they have more than 50 units inside there. They were invariably my host. I was staying in one of their apartments. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Huh? Guys, I want to know, does this make sense? That before you ask of the price, you should ask of the plan. Does this make sense? Does this make sense, guys? Does this make sense at all? Hmm? Does this make sense? Hmm? Does this make sense, guys? Does this make sense? Hmm? So then secondly is what we have political stability. Yeah. So I was speaking with one of my we wanted to do a JV with one of my general friend, and he has retired from the army. He retired as I think a major general, and he says that. So he told me about a project we wanted to do in Ghana, and it was like, "Oh, come and join us. Let's do this project in Ghana." I said, "Okay, beautiful. When you're ready, let me know." Ghana just did an election, and after the election, a new president came in, and funny enough, they revoked some lands that were issued to the people to do a government project. We had to get the land from the government, from the federal government of Ghana, something like that. and then do a partnership. You get it, and do a partnership. So, but they revoked some title documents of people that the other administration had partnership. And these people have spent, okay, I think they revoked license of gold. He was using the gold example to give me an analogy that some people paid good money to get license for gold and for mining. And there were also some real estate partnership with the government, whereby it's a JV, the government provides you land, you do housing, you do run and transfer or the likes. And he said they didn't get the land. When the new government came, he scrapped those projects. Now people are losing their licenses. So they're going back to go and look for funds to come back to get another license. People that have done real estate projects have their money in buildings they cannot recoup their money from because they have been ousted from the deal. Now, that is what we talk about government what? Instability, political instability. And he said, no, we cannot do Ghana. Ghana. Accra is no. It's no. Nobody wants to put his money where it's going to get lost. Nobody. So if you have a governor that is that is fighting with another governor in one particular state, people would not want to do business there. You want to do business where you're safe. Safety is important because most of the money you're using to do business might be OPM, it might be bank money, you might have raised money. You don't want to do business and tomorrow, even if all the equity is yours and you're not in safe hands. So does this really ring a bell? Does this ring a bell? Does this ring a bell? Does this ring a bell? So political instability will always deter investment. So now, if a place has a lot of godfathers, one day, the place will be broken because not every day that the boys will listen to. So why this is important? Why this is important is for you to know that. Okay. So real estate, a lot of things are affected. Most times when you hear people are going to look for greener pastures, they're not really going, they're going to places with high GDP, right? They're going to the US, they're going to Canada, they're going to places where you are paid more and so that you can live better, right? With a higher standard of living. So a place with higher standard of living will pay you more, although there's a higher cost of living. Yeah. Now, people are always going there. So invariably, that is the same way with areas with high GDP. That's another point I'm trying to make. And places with high GDP, there are local markets with high GDP. Most people will tell you they want to stay in Lagos because Lagos has a high GDP. So any place around about Lagos will appreciate because of the high GDP. Now, there are places that are growing their GDP. Now, I'm looking at, what do they call it? GDPs for nations, but I'm looking at the productivity for state, the productivity for town. What is the town generating? What is the inflow of money within the town? Because this will be evenly distributed. It will not be evenly distributed, but it will be distributed per contribution. All right. So let's remember that these are the points I want us to look at today. Remember that aspect of things that are not in your book. There are market clusters. You will see that. There are transportation hub. There is era of big business. You hear there's a free trade zone coming somewhere. Something is gonna fall, right? So there is recreation, there is luxury, there is relaxation. Yeah, there is migration rate. You will see those ones as compare. But Add this to that, and whenever you're making investments, it's going to be a cool one, very good one. That's why Akwabatago Estate is located just opposite the university. Most of those university, most of those students, some of them lives there, and many years later they want to own properties there, right? And but activities are happening. People are looking around there. They're always coming, and it's going. So that is that. Remember, it is safer to ask what is the plan for an estate and what is the price. If you ask what is the price, it's good. But if you ask what is the plan, it's better. It's a solid plan. The person that wants to buy cheap has no business with you. So two locations can even be selling almost the same price, but it may be higher, but exponential. There's a particular place that the state government currently is doing a project, and the kind of estate they want to design there is where when the governor leaves, when this current governor leaves, he wants to reside there within the city. So you know the kind of estate they're building there. Now that tells you about the plan, right? And what do you think will be the cost of that estate in 8 years? I will leave you to guess that. So that is that. Okay. I've enjoyed myself on this class, and I hope we've been able to learn one or two things. Though our interactions was low, but I want to also I feel better seeing our videos are on, and seeing that talking to people that are consciously paying attention to learn. Okay, so to your progress, to my progress, please. There's something I've noticed in our trainings. We take time. How do I say it? We don't show up. Or how do I say it? We don't. The numbers are dropping in our training. Maybe because we think we've been able to pick it. But the point is this: a Cristiano Ronaldo will remain a Cristiano Ronaldo if he keeps training. The day he stops training, you will see Cristiano Ronaldo, and he will no longer be the Cristiano Ronaldo that you will applaud. That's the same thing with business. That's the same thing with winning. We keep sharpening our swords so that we get better. And you know the beauty of what we're doing. What we're doing is that you're not seeing the impact, but one day it's going to open like a floodgate, and there's a single opportunity, and it shows up in your door. You use it well, and from there you have a backbone and a reservoir of knowledge to propel you. So, and that's the beauty of why we teach, and that's because I know this for sure that you cannot study wealth and be poor. Right? You cannot, if you study chemistry, you come out a chemist. If you study wealth, you come out a wealth guy. It may not show today, but what happens is you may not be saying it, but gradually you are building up. So let's keep building the muscle, and I will see us next week, hopefully with a guest. Thank you, everyone, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been a wonderful time today. We are so glad to have you come on. Before we take the question and question session, I would love Michael, please play the Kids to Landlord commercial while we write our questions down for the MD. In the next 2-3 minutes, let's start commercial play now.
Okay.
Michael,
okay, thank you. Yeah, let's watch our Kids to Landlord challenge. Thank you, my guys. And I hope we always come to this class with our books. because it's important. I even write what I teach most times. Can you play it from beginning, and can the audio be audible? Can you play it from beginning, and let's get the audio. We're still not getting the
Michael,
audio.
unmute yourself for the other to come and unmute yourself.
We're not getting the audio. Kindly go back, please.
Can you unmute yourself? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Just to not come out. Michael, you are muted. You are muted. Remove yourself from mute.
Okay. So you find a way to sort this, right?
Okay, sir. Can we just talk about the kids landlord challenge since we wanted to play the video and it's not working? Maybe we can
Okay.
just talk about it. So everyone on the call, kids to landlord challenge is one of the challenges we do once every year, coming up during Children's Day, 27th of May. But the challenge comes before the time so that a child can be able to win a plot of land from Latera. What does the child need to do? Record a creative video of yourself talking about land banking, the importance of land banking, and you make a short video of 1 minute and 30 seconds talking about land banking, and let the video be creative. And also in the video, the child should also mention do land banking with Latera. Now, when the child does this video, she's going to be sending the video to a number which is going to be uploaded in our in our Facebook page, where you can campaign for likes and comments. Any child that has the highest number of comments and the highest number of views wins the plot of land from Latera. All right, so this information is for the a child from, let's say, from 6 years to and above till 11 years. Yeah. So I think the
That
year.
information is wrong. You don't
Okay,
have the
sir.
full information. That
So,
information is wrong. I thought that's on the group. Why don't you
okay.
guys have the full information?
I'll check and I'll write the correct information in the group so that
It's
all of
okay.
us will have it.
I've had you. I've had you.
All right. So
It's okay. Michael, kindly work on this. And I don't know why this video is doing like this. And let this not happen again. So work on it and get it sorted, okay? And with respect to Kids to Landlord Challenge, it would always be beautiful that just like our last love adventure, not really a challenge, we just did it out to have people. It was fun knowing that most of our people won it, and that is the beautiful beauty of it. So the challenge is not if you have a child, the challenge is you helping a child. That's the truth. Why I say is you helping a child is when a child is able to own a plot of land, just imagine if your father left you a plot of land and what it will be when you're 25, when you're 30. Just imagine it, right? So it's about you finding a child that you can help to own a plot of land. Now, even the babies that didn't win last year, most of them got scholarship. Some will give scholarship. Some other people even facilitated give them cash gift to augment their scholarship. So it's not about the land the child gets. That's the truth. The challenge is a parent that will teach the child the challenge. That's it. So the parents now gets to understand what's land banking, or is a guardian like you. And so I would always encourage us, if we are to light a fire, we'll start from home. So you find a child. The only person that is not qualified in the Keys to Landlord Challenge is the last winner. She can play, but she cannot win. You get, so that we're able to light the fire in a lot of homes, that they can know that through land banking they can create abundance. So invariably we are able to kill off the consuming mentality and the short term, the drive for short term gains that always drives to poverty. You know what the Bible says: the thought of the diligent will tilt to plenty. Okay, so that's that. The challenge is from babies within 7 to 17 years. Okay, this year is 7 to 17. It has a lot of stages, 2, 3 stages, but it's a win-win. Whether the people that participated and didn't even win got a lot of value. Why? The parent now understands value of land banking. The child understands it, and the child will be able to live out that life. I've always seen a lot of young people. I always interview them when they buy land consistently. Why are you buying land? And they always have their why. So we're trying to create that why for a lot of children. That's the real bedrock of Keys to Landlord Challenge. And that is that. So everyone, have a beautiful evening, and God bless us.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
sir.
so
We
much.
really appreciate. Good night, everybody. Let's remember our Friday training. The training has been changed from Saturday to Friday. Please, all of us should remember this and bear this in mind. So this Friday is going to be an awesome time for us as a team. Please endeavor to be in the training, and also let all your team members be part of our trainings. All right. Good night, and do have a good night rest.
born in land, impossible, right? Not anymore. Financial literacy is just for adults. This is about land ownership. So child takes their future to borrow, while adults present labour commitment. Five. Opportunity for them to learn about real estate, investment, and land ownership. And trust is they are on their as their first own in land. As Nigeria so more born in land, even before they turn to the state. Impossible, right? Not anymore. Financial literacy isn't just for adults. Since